ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pensacola, Florida for round number 3 of the Fast Action Racing Series Short Track Thunder Series, right here live on the iCast Racing Network, present or powered by iRacing. Today we have 11 drivers on tap for you guys here today. We are just now finishing up here with qualifying. I do apologize about the late start. I was having a little bit of overlay issues, so you guys know how it goes. If, you know, if I don't have any overlay issues, it's not an iCast Racing broadcast, but I am glad that we were able to go ahead and make it perfect here for you guys today. These drivers are going to go for 125 laps right here for the Gulf Coast 125 right here at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. The drivers are having their last minute drivers chat before we get underway here today. And everything is now being synced up here for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the little flicker. When you see a little flicker, you know what that means. It is time to go racing. Let's go ahead. While these drivers get lined up, let's go ahead and take a look at your starting grid. Starting on the pole is no surprise of Lucas Edwards in that number 87 machine, followed by Dan Adkins in the number 91, which is his teammate. Cody Majork in the number 74 will start on the inside of row number 2, and teammate Eddie Hawks will start on the outside of that number 15 machine. Joseph Nelson in that number 54, he will start on the inside of row number 3, and Chris Roberge in that number 9, he will start on the outside. Row number 4, you have Jordan Martin in that number 13 machine with newcomer Ryan DeJarnett in that number 33 machine. And inside of row number 5, you have Matthew Stern and Keegan Browning on to his outside. And rounding out your field here today, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Jeff Engel in that number 89 machine. Let's get these guys ready to go racing right here on the iCast Racing Network. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be in the hands of Lucas Edwards as they are getting ready to come out of turn number 4 here in just one moment. And we are going to go green flag racing. Ladies and gentlemen, the green flag is out. And Lucas Edwards gets a decent jump as everybody behind them starts to get sorted out. Dan Atkins, Lucas Edwards now single file, but the rest of the field still running side by side as they enter turn number 3. The 9 car of Chris Roberge, he gets way outside as they drop down back down the front straightaway. Side by side, Chris Roberge still trying to make something happen to the outside of Joseph Nelson, but not able to make it work so far as they go 3 wide at turns 3 and 4. And here they come out of turn 4. They will sort it out. That was risky business there between Ryan DeJarnett and Jordan Martin to get around Keegan Browning and company. But that was an incredible move right there. 3 wide early on in this race. I think these guys kind of forgot this is a 125 lap race as they continue to run side by side back here for that 7th spot. Keegan Browning in that number 53 machine is on the inside of DeJarnett as DeJarnett's falls back a little bit, and here comes Chris Roberts in that number 9 machine, taken to the inside here, and he's not able to make it happen, as we have trouble out on the front straightaway. It is going to be for that number 89 of Jeff Engel. Let's come back here and take a look, see what happened as they come out of turn number 2, as he gets loose coming into 3, and now he's hard on the brakes, and he hits that tire right there at the end of pit road, and that's going to bring out our caution. This race is not off to a good start for Jeff Engel and that number 89 machine. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go green flag racing here once again. Dan Atkins, he decides he's going to go to the outside. Lucas Edwards to the inside. Eddie Hawks right behind them, and Cody Majoric. Here we go. Pace car is back in, and we are green flag racing once again here at Five Flags. Lucas Edwards, he gets back out right in front of teammate Dan Atkins, as the field behind them continue to run side by side, looking to make it all sorted out. A couple cars bouncing off the wall there. The 53 of Keegan Browning goes around, and the 33 of Ryan White Jardette had absolutely nowhere to go. So the caution will come out here once again at Five Flags. Let's go back, take a look and see what happened. Coming down here into turn number 3, he just got heavy into the brakes, spun it sideways and right up in front of Ryan. Very unfortunate there for Ryan, getting caught up in that mess in his first start here, as you see Keegan Browning go ahead and come on down pit road to get service on his Toyota Camry. He's having issues getting it to stick in his pit stall, which is not going to be good, but he's able to go ahead and pull away without going one lap down. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to line them up and do it again, as we should get the one to go signal this time by. Yes, and the lights are off on the iRacing pace car once again. We do want to thank our pace driver of Fred. He's been here since 2008 with his buddy Barney up in the flag stand. Both been employed since 2008. So we definitely appreciate them as the pace car is off, and we will have a single file restart this time. And we are back, green flag racing right here at Five Flags Speedway. Lucas Edwards gets off to a really good start this time as they come rocketing out of turn number 2. And Jeff Engel, he will come down one lap down as they get ready to come out of turn number 4. A lot of good racing happening right now around this speedway. As you see the 13 now trying to attack Joseph Nelson on the inside, and it looks like he will have the room coming down here into turn number 1 as they come down out of the back stretch and through the corners. Take a look at that view right there, ladies and gentlemen. As you see these drivers, here we go, here's a good cam right here. Back to turn number 3. And Q Digger. I absolutely love the Digger cam, ladies and gentlemen. As we now continue to still have this battle for a 5th spot between Joseph Nelson and Jordan Martin, as we have a caution. Keegan Browning and Ryan DeJarnett once again get tangled up. Let's come back here and take a look, see what's happening between these two. As they come down here in turn 3 here once again. Keegan Browning to the outside and gets a little bit of a tap from Ryan, as Ryan will go ahead, pull it to a stop, and he will let Keegan Browning go ahead and throw it back into first. Good sportsmanship right there between Ryan and Keegan. This is only their 2nd time tangling here tonight, but this could be very interesting as these laps continue to wind down. Keegan and Ryan are both coming down pit road to get services on their machines. Alright, both drivers are now in their pit stalls. Let's see what's going to happen to them. It looks like they're just going to get some repairs done on their machines. Nothing too drastic at the moment, but here comes the field out of turn number 4. Let's see if these guys get out of pits here in time. It looks like Browning he's still going to stay down on the in the pits, so he will go ahead and go 1 lap down this time by. Gentlemen, this time when we go green, we're going to ride on board for a couple laps with Jordan Martin, as the field will get the 1 to go signal this time. Jordan Martin in that number 13 Miller Lite Ford Mustang. He will be starting on the outside, and this is going to show us exactly what these drivers are dealing with here today. So get ready for some awesome racing as we get ready to go green flag racing here once again. Like I said, we're going to ride on board with Jordan Martin here as the pace car gets ready to get pulled off. And pace car is off. And we are green flag racing in. Oh, big checkup right in front from the race leaders as they continue to run side by side out in front. Here they come rocking out at number 2. Looks like Dan Atkins still hanging tough on that outside, trying to get all around his teammate Lucas Edwards. Unable to do that, but here comes Martin looking to the high side of Joseph Nelson. And that is 1 whole lap here around Five Flags as he's still attacking Nelson on that outside. That high side normally does not work, but here comes Martin making it work as he's able to clear Nelson, but unable to keep it cleared as they enter turn number 1. as we have a battle for second brewing up top. Cody Majork, he's looking to make some noise for that second spot as things now settle down here. 99 laps to go. These drivers still running side by side. Jordan Martin, Joseph Nelson. Nelson on the inside, Martin on the outside, still running side by side for that fifth spot. Really good racing as we have a pass here coming for second. We'll go back to that battle here in just a moment, but here it comes. Big hit, and Dan Atkins into the outside wall off the back end of that 74, and it looks like Jordan Martin and the 54, they're still beating and banging back here as they're looking to go 3 wide, heading down into turn number 3. Chris Roberge is making it 3 wide on the exit of turn number 4. Roberge gets sideways, and that's going to allow Matthew Stern to get around or get to his outside. And now we have side-by-side racing pretty much through this field. Things settle down now as they come out of turn number 4. Martin still hanging tough on the outside. Nelson hanging tough on the inside. Neither one of these drivers are giving any room whatsoever as they continue to run side by side up here for that number 5 spot. They touch a little bit here out of turn number 4 back down into 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a race on our hands here for that 5th spot. And now Matthew Stern, he's thinking about making it 3 wide as these two drivers in front are still running side by side. And it looks like Nelson's going to take it. And here comes Stern on the inside of Martin now to take over that 6th spot as he's trying to make really quick work of that number 13 machine. And here comes that 9. Chris Roberge once again 3 wide on the front straightaway as they dive down into turn 1. Martin lets out and allows Matthew Stern and Roberge to get in front, but that also allowed Ryan DeJarnette to get around as well. And now we have the number 9 of Chris Roberge and on the inside, Matthew Stern on the outside now for that 6th spot. And let's see how long these two drivers can run side by side before one of these drivers in the back will come up here and start making some noise. Roberge gets a little bit better exit, but here comes Stern back to the outside as they continue to run side by side, lap after lap, back on the back straightaway, still side by side as they drag race through the corners. Pretty much around this whole entire speedway, they are drag racing. And right now, Roberge gets the better of it, and here comes Martin onto the inside of Stern. He wants to start making his moves back up towards the front as he's now running side by side with Matthew Stern. Big slide by Jordan Martin, and he will go around, and that will bring out our 4th caution. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a race so far as these drivers continue to run around this speedway. Let's catch our breath here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look, see what happened to Jordan Martin on the exit of turn number 2. And he just got a little too much brakes down in 3, and then the car just snapped towards the outside wall. And like I said, that will bring out our 4th caution of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to catch my breath. These drivers are putting on one hell of a show today. If you guys are not watching, you guys are missing out. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having to catch my breath here. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's reset these guys up and let's get ready to do it all over again. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, get ready, here we go. Lucas Edwards is going to bring the field back to the green. Cody Majork to his outside. Dan Atkins behind teammate Lucas Edwards. And we are green flag racing once again here. And Lucas Edwards gets an incredible jump. And here comes Dan Atkins attacking on the inside of Cody Majork for that second spot as they continue to run side by side. They will get themselves figured out here as we jump back here to Joseph Nelson, that number 54 machine. He is now attacking for that fourth spot of Eddie Hawks in that number 15 machine to the outside, side by side, a couple rows deep here as you saw Matthew Stern give it a little bit of a wobble there out of turn 2, but we still got good side by side racing here on the front straightaway. We have, oh, huge crash. Jordan Martin in that number 13 Miller Lite Ford Mustang. I absolutely missed something here. Let's go back and take a look, as that was a huge surprise. He was coming out of turn number 4 and he just lost it here on the front straightaway, right back up into traffic. And the rest of these drivers, the 15, the 9, the 89, they had nowhere to go. Very unfortunate here for most of these drivers, as they will come down pit road now. And that pretty much took out half the field. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. As you see Jeff Engel coming back around to get his lap, one of his laps back. Jeff, you are not out of it yet, buddy. Stay in it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a couple cars now, a couple laps down. Continue to sit here and pace around. As you guys see here in our tracker, we currently have 3 cars 1 lap down, possibly 4 if White Argenets cannot get out in time. As it looks like he is not moving. Roberge hits the pits once again, as we will line these guys up here to do it all over again. Lucas Edwards, Dan Atkins once again out front. Cody Majork in the number 74 machine having a really decent run today, as we are back at green flag racing right here at Five Flags. Lucas Edwards, Dan Atkins get out in front of the rest of this field, as you see Cody Majork also clearing, but here comes Matthew Stern trying to take that number 4 spot from Joseph, and we have issues here once again. Jordan Martin looped it around on the exit of turn number 4. Let's go back, take a look here and see what happened. Just heavy braking into turns 3 and 4. He just wobbled just enough. Extremely hard hit for Jordan Martin there. That may have possibly broken a tire. So he may need to come into the pits now for service on his number 13 machine, which he is coming down pit road now. And this will put him once again another lap down. As we have two drivers who actually get a wave around this time. It's going to be the 15 of Eddie Hawks and Jeff Engel. They both get that wave by to get put back on the lead lap. Jordan, Martin, Keegan Browning are both currently sitting in pits as Keegan Browning go ahead and kicks it into gear and heads back out onto the racetrack. As Jordan Martin, he will now go one lap down, or 2 laps down now, as Browning comes back into pits to get a little bit more damage taken care of. And I believe, since we did not complete 2 laps, I think it was, I believe we are going to do this restart here single file, but we'll find out right now as the lights go out on the iRacing pace car, and these drivers are staying single file for the time being. Yes, as I said, we are going to do this a single file for this restart. Phenomenal racing out of all these drivers so far. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 11 drivers out here, but all 11 drivers have been putting on one hell of a show. Pace car is in. We are green flag racing once again, and Lucas Edwards detonates off of the start and gets off to almost a full second gap on the field as they come out of turn number 2. And we are back side-by-side racing. Here comes Chris Roberge to the inside of Nelson, looking to take over that 5th spot as they continue to run side by side down into turn number 1. Roberge not able to make it stick out of turn 4, so Nelson will currently just take over that 5th spot. But here comes Roberge once again attacking to the inside as they exit turn number 4, get back down into turn number 1 as they are quickly approaching Matthew Stern in that number 4 machine. And at this time, Roberge has taken over that spot. And here comes Ryan DeJarnett in that number 33, getting around Wilson Nelson, pushing Nelson all the way back to that 7th spot as there's a little bit of contact coming into turn number 1. But these drivers are now just going to run single file for the time being as we come to get 67 to go this time by. And here comes Roberge now making a move on Matthew Stern for that 4th spot. Chris Roberge is very strong everywhere we go. He is still looking for that very first win here with the Fast Action Racing Series, as he's come close quite a few times, but he's just not been able to light that cigar at the end of this race. So hopefully this is something can turn around for Chris Roberge. And I am rooting for you, Chris. Get up there and go catch those leaders. Let's jump back up here to your race leaders as we take a look at Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine. He's starting to get a lot of pressure put on him by Cody Majork in that number 74 STP Ford Mustang as they continue to turn down laps. Cody Majork trying to look to the inside, not able to make it happen just yet, but he is inching closer and closer to get to that inside of Atkins as Atkins gets into the wall there just a little bit, and that will bring Majork pretty much to his inside on the exit turn 2, but Atkins still has that momentum getting out of the corner on that high side, so Majork just not able to make anything happen just yet. But they are still trying as this race has turned into a 3-way battle here for that second spot. Chris Roberge now pretty much on the back bumper of Cody Majork in that number 74 machine as he's starting to work his way up towards the front. Unlike other races, Dan Atkins and Lucas Edwards, they are not able to pull away very far on these runs that we've been having. And so this is a whole different race than what we're normally seeing with Dan Atkins and Lucas Edwards pulling away. As you see Cody Majork and Chris Roberge staying pretty much right there. And here comes Roberge to the inside of Majork, looking to take over that third spot. Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, they will drag race into turn 3. And he will clear him here out of turn number 4. Majork not going to put any pressure on him to make a crossover move. As now Chris Roberge, he will now take a look, and he has his eyes set on Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine. 57 laps to go this time by. We still got plenty of time remaining in this race. As Jordan Martin, it looks like he is still currently down in the pits for the moment, as he continues to drop to just about 17, 18, 19 laps down now. Jordan Martin, he unfortunately will not be able to possibly come back out with all that damage, but we'll see what happens as this race goes on. Chris Roberge now to the back bumper of Dan Atkins as they dive down into turns 1 and 2 here once again. Let's ride on board here with Chris Roberge as he's making a run to the inside of Dan Atkins, and he begins to start to clear him. He will clear him in turns 1 and 2. One more spot for Chris Roberge as he now has his sights on the race leader of Lucas Edwards. Chris Roberge, like I said, he is still looking for that first win of his career here in the Fast Action Racing Series, and he could possibly do it right here in the ARCA Series cars right here at Five Flags. Every lap he is getting closer and closer to your race leader. Just about a 0.65 second separation as they dive here towards into turn number 1 and 2. Now the gap is still just hanging out just about 0.67. Here we go. I deeply apologize about I deeply apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure what happened there, but let's go ahead and get back here as we see Chris Roberge now on the back bumper of Lucas Edwards as he's attacking down at turn number 1. Edwards slides up the track, giving just enough room for Roberge as they now drag race down the back straightaway for the race lead. Lucas Edwards gets the better run out of turn 2 and 4, and that will make Roberge have to concede for the time being as they continue to duke it out here on lap 80 of this race. 44 laps to go now as they exit turn number 4, as these drivers continue to put time around on this field. We're going to jump back here to this back battle here just for a moment. As you see Eddie Hawks trying to work around the inside of the lap down or of Keegan Browning. Yep, the lap down car of Keegan Browning. But here comes Cody Majork in that number 74. He wants to get a piece of that 6th place. He is unable to do so here for the time as we have a pass possibly for the lead out of turn number 2, side by side. Roberge wants that race lead so bad as they continue to battle it out of turn 4, side by side, but that lead or that lap will still belong to Lucas Edwards as Dan Atkins is now fighting up here, and we now have a three-way battle for the race lead. Chris Roberge will come out of turn number 4, and he will take over the race lead and lead that lap. And here comes Dan Atkins attacking the inside on teammate Lucas Edwards as they now battle it out of turn number 2. Side by side now for the second place, Lucas Edwards, Dan Atkins. As we had an issue here with Jeff Engel, as he has an issue here on the back straightaway, but we will stay green flag racing. Let's come back up here to your race leaders. Lucas Edwards a little bit sideways there on the entrance of turn number 3 as he gets hard into the wall and out of turn number 4. That will put him back in third. Let's take a quick moment. Let's go back and take a look here and see what happened to Jeff Engel. And he just lost it out of turn 2, hit head on into the guardrail on the inside. Let's come back up here to this battle for for second now. Lucas Edwards still trying to figure out how to get around Dan Atkins here once again as Chris Roberge, he has now put just about a 1 second gap on your race or from these two now. As these two drivers are now running side by side here for second as Chris Roberge works his way around Jeff Engel in that number 89 machine. And they dive that back down into turn number 3, still side by side for that second spot. Edwards almost had the position coming out of the corner, but that outside lane just proved to be the place to be when you are running side by side, because you just have so much more momentum when you exit out of these corners. And they are still running side by side as they come down the front straightaway, and that one will go to Dan Atkins here in second spot. Side by side, these two drivers are still running. Now they will sort themselves out with Dan Atkins taking over that second spot for the time being. Atkins now just cruising around in the second spot. Lucas Edwards also just cruising around for the time being as they are approaching the lap down car of Jeff Engel now. Let's see what's going to happen here with Jeff Engel. Will he become a benefactor in this race for second for one of these drivers, or will he just go ahead and just concede and allow the race leaders to get around him? But as of right now, there he goes again, sliding into the inside guardrail as he will lose it here possibly once again in turns 3, but he will keep it straight and we will stay green flag racing here at USA. As you guys see here, this battle back here for 6 is still brewing between Eddie Hawks and Matthew Stern. And they're just riding right behind Keegan Browning, who is currently one lap down to these drivers. As you see here, the 15 gets love tapped by Stern as they go 3 wide. And Cody Majork said, "Excuse me, I will take both of your positions," as they exit turn number 4, and he will proceed to jump up into that 6th spot. "24 laps to go for your race leader of Chris Roberge." He does not want any of these drivers to spin, causing caution, because he is comfortably out to a 1.4 second lead over points leader Dan Atkins, as he continues just to work his way nice and steady around this half-mile speedway. Nice and steady it has to be here for Chris Roberge in that number 9 machine. And this is going to be a good interview. If he can get this job done today, it's going to be a very interesting interview. As we now have, coming to 19 laps to go, Dan Atkins, he's separated himself away from Lucas Edwards just a little bit here. Then Ryan White Desjarnette in that number 33 in his FARS debut. He's doing a really good run here, running 4th. Joseph Nelson up here in the top 5, good run for him. Matthew Stern in that number 4 machine, sitting back in that 6th spot. He's being hounded by that 74 of Cody Majork, and he's also getting a lot of pressure put onto him by Jeff Engel, who's a current lap down. And here comes Eddie Hawks, or I'm sorry, that wasn't Eddie Hawks, that was 13 Jordan Martin trying to get his way around the lap down car of Jeff Engel, unable to do so. King and Brownie, Jeff Engel, and now Jordan Martin is all out here as well. Let's bring it back out here to your race leader as he gets 16 laps to go. We are looking at possibly just maybe about 10 more minutes or so of racing. That's how long Chris Roberge needs to keep his car facing straight. 12 laps to go, this time by 6 more miles here for Chris Roberge, as things have really settled out around this entire field. Chris Roberge is still marching himself, putting a gap between himself and Dan Atkins, coming up on 2 seconds, separates your 2 race leaders, as Lucas Edwards has worked his way to just about a half second behind Dan Atkins now. So the race for second might start to heat up, but Chris Roberge is okay for that. Barney will give the 2-hand salute. 10 laps to go this time for your race leader of Dan Atkins. What an incredible run today here for Chris Roberge. I'm sorry, I said Dan Atkins. I'm so used to saying Dan Atkins, but today it is in the hands of Chris Roberge as he continues to march around this half-mile speedway, and we have a battle now for second. Lucas Edwards attacking on the inside of Dan Atkins for that second spot as they continue to drag race around this speedway. And the more that these guys battle, the further out in front Chris Roberge is going to get. But at this point, it does not matter. Chris Roberge has just about a full straightaway in front of these 2 drivers. as Lucas Edwards, he will pass his teammate for that second spot. And here comes Dan Atkins, gets into the back bumper of Lucas Edwards, but he let off just your flagman Barty will give the one-hand salute to Chris Roberge, this time by 5 laps to go. 4.5 miles remain for Chris Roberge. Let's make this one count here. 4 laps remaining. I'm sorry, now we have 2 miles left. Just 2 miles for Chris Roberge. He has just about a 3-second gap back to Lucas Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very awesome run and very awesome needed for Chris Roberge. Everybody's favorite Canadian has 3 laps to do this. As he comes out of turn number 2, he is now just taking it nice and easy, as he has allowed a little time here. 2 laps to go. He gets the popsicle sticks from Barty. 1 mile left for your race leader of Chris Roberge as he exit and enters turns 2 and 3. The white flag is out. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Roberge is now coming out of turn number 1 and 2 for the final time, as he is taking it nice and easy. Ladies and gentlemen, round number 3 will finally come home to Chris Roberge in that number 9 Monster Energy Ford Mustang. Second place will be Lucas Edwards in that number 87, Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine. Ryan White DeJarnette will come in that 4th spot, and Joseph Nelson will round out your top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to wait too long to get Chris Roberge up here, because I know that this is going to be a celebration of a lifetime. Let's not wait. Chris Roberge, my dude, you've done it. You are now a winner in the Fast Action Racing Series League. Long time coming, buddy. How are you feeling?
I'm great.
Chris, I know that, I've stated this before, my man. This has been a very, very long time coming for you. I knew that your win was coming soon. It's finally here. It's a monkey off of your shoulder. Just what emotions are you feeling right now?
I'm pretty happy. After that caution, and really didn't pit except the last caution there, and I got pit. I went in, checked my tires, and see if my pits are okay, but my tires were not okay. So I decided, okay, go back in and get my tires, all new tires, and just take my time and Lucas and I had a battle there at the end there. And then I think I just got by him finally. So I'm happy. Our team's really happy now.
That is very awesome to hear, Chris. Would you like to thank anybody before I send you back up?
Yeah, thanks for you broadcasting here, Fast Action here, for letting me join with them and all that stuff. Thanks for good shoot shit his the teammates are Lucas and Dan. Thank you for them for letting me join with them, and the biggest support is my wife and my godson Frank.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I wanted to grab you real quick since, this was a big moment for you. I'll go ahead and send you up. Congratulations on your
Thank you.
first win here in the Fast Action Racing Series. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Chris Roberge in the number 98 machine. Let's go ahead and drag second place Lucas Edwards in the number 87 machine down here. Lucas Edwards, so you got a copy.
I got a copy. How's it going?
It is going. I am going to go ahead and bring down Dan Atkins as well. Lucas and Dan, you guys put on one hell of a show today, coming home for the three sweep for Shoot the Shit Racing, and you guys had a good hard battle. Do you guys feel like you guys finished in the correct order here?
No.
No, of course not.
I do. I mean, I feel like I finished where I probably was running. I mean, I didn't have good turn in. The front tires were kind of sliding a little bit, and it wasn't no winning car tonight.
Yeah, Dan, you still put on one hell of a show. Really good side-by-side racing with Lucas there for quite a few laps. But Lucas ended up, he did get the best of you tonight. Lucas, how was your car handling getting into these corners?
I was still handling really good until Chris got to me with his fresher tires. I was trying so hard to hold him off, but I didn't realize how much newer his tires were and burned mine right on off.
So pretty much older tires are what hurt you guys here today. Would you guys like to thank anybody before I send you guys back up into the with the rest of the guys?
Well, I'd like to thank my friends if they're still here. And Dan for recruiting me to shoot the shit because we're kicking the competition.
Oh, hell yeah. Shoot the Shit Racing, top 3 here once again. Shoot the Shit, top 3 in points still once again. All 3 of you guys have one win this season, so it was a really good night for Shoot the Shit, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right.
Yep, look forward to it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Atkins, Lucas Edwards. What an incredible night of racing here at Five Flags Speedway. Let's go ahead and take a look here at your finishing order for tonight. Tonight, it was all about everyone's favorite Canadian, Chris Roberge, in that number 9 machine for Shoot the Shit Racing, and he outlasted his teammates Lucas Edwards and Dan Atkins. So STS Racing, they got the top 3 here today, and then you have Ryan White de Jarnat in the number 33, bringing it home 4th in his debut here with Fast Action Racing League. Fast Action Racing Series. Joseph Nelson in that number 54, he'll bring it home in the top 5 today. Good run for him. Matthew Stern, really strong performance out of him today. And his teammates, Cody Majork and Eddie Hawk, right behind him for 7th and 8th. Tight on entry racing driver Keegan Browning will come home 9th. Jeff Engel will come home 10th. And Jordan Martin will come home in 11th after those massive hits he had. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible run today here at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. We hope you guys enjoyed today's race, and I would like to do a big shout out to SDK Gaming for all of their work that they do here for your overlays that you see here on screen. I am Mike Taylor with iCast Racing Network, and you guys know the routine. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week, same time, same place, right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. Good time zones.
This has been a production of the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to like and subscribe for notifications for all of our live events right here on YouTube and Twitch. We would like to thank SDK Gaming for their production overlays that makes this event enjoyable. Until next time, happy time zones.